Hello and welcome fellow subscribers and other racing fans. Today we have another short episode of Setup 101 and we will analyze the Aston Martin v12 GT3 at Hockenheim. This setup was done in preparation to the ARLA race at Hockenheim, so it's mainly for shorter races. One race was 11 laps and the other was 23 laps. I already noticed that the car might get a little bit understeering with full tank, so there might need to be some adjustments if you want to run a very long race. However, basically what we did was to take the Brno setup I did some days earlier. So if you haven't seen that video, might be worth watching it before, because I explained some settings there we also need here at Hockenheim. And what I did change was the downforce. Hockenheim is a low downforce track. You don't need much downforce, no. So we kept the 0 in the front, but we also needed to go down in the rear. Reason for that is that the car is quite understeery with 0.5 downforce we used in Brno in fast corners. Of course, downforce always comes into play when we are talking about fast corners. So we put it down to 0 and 2 actually, and the car feels totally fine with that. However, another problem we have, especially in the last sector in Hockenheim, the rear gets quite unstable at times. But that's only in the slower corners and the last few corners. So what we do there is we need more mechanical grip. The first thing is we keep the very soft the very soft springs, I mean, from Brno. Obviously in a low downforce setup you drive softer springs to counter the grip you might lose, to get more mechanical grip. And also the car is not compressed as much because of the lower downforce. So you can actually run softer springs and the car would not bottom out. Now what to do against the oversteering in the last few corners? Well, it's quite easy. As I said in Brno, where we had the complete opposite problem of understeering in the low speed corners, we do have oversteering now, so we reduce the rear sway bars and we reduce the acceleration diff. So we are still able to nail down the throttle. Also keep in mind Hockenheim is much lower in altitude than Brno. Brno of about 420 meters above sea level. So we have some more power here. So oversteering is more prevalent. So after the sway bars and the acceleration diff, which are the most important settings for Hockenheim, besides downforce of course, we also need to change the tire pressure slightly. I reduced them slightly. However, as the front left tire, for example, also gets very hot in the last sector and at times it's clever to keep high pressures in the front left. I also made the fast bumps in the rear a little softer. Reason for that is also the last sector, because there are some bumps in the road and where the rear wanted to step out, and we counter this quite easily with some softer dampers. Last but not least, I want to talk about the gears. I would say if you are driving for yourself, the shorter gears are totally fine at Hockenheim. However, due to the low downforce, it is possible if you are driving in slipstream that you will lose a little bit time on the straights because the gears run out, or well, at least the torque and the power goes down because the RPMs are too high. So maybe you want to use the longer final gear. However, in the races I used the shorter, the default ones, and I was also totally fine. So it depends on the situation, of course. Last but not least, I advise to use a faster steering ratio for Hockenheim. else you might get problems in the hairpin. And Brno, I used a very slow steering ratio because you needed the feel for the car in the corners, so you don't get too much understeering because of overdriving the car. But in Hockenheim it's the other way around. I think you need to react fast and the faster steering, else you might lose too much time. Okay, that's it for our changes, our track specific changes for Hockenheim. I repeat, we used the Brno setup as a base, so you might want to watch that as well, or at least see the setup we did for Brno. And well, what else to say? Nothing, I guess. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.